Monaghan didn't really vary their points of attack today. Where they had in the championship to now, Colin Walsh kicking an aimless ball out of the sideline, I'm not sure it was an attempt at a point. This is a high ball into Tommy Freeman. I mean, Kerry kicked 2 years ago, kicked high balls into Kieran Donaghy and Tommy Walsh and got no change out of you. Certainly not going to get high balls into Tommy Freeman against Tyrone. And there was a few of those today. Again, just the ball's been, you might credit good anticipation by the Tyrone defence, and the options weren't really there, but at the same time you'd expect a better foot pass, more imagination in the foot passing really. It was all down very narrow channels. And I suppose the net effect of it all is if you do it often enough, Tyrone will counter-attack. And this is at a stage, when the game, if Monaghan were going to make their move early in the second half, they would have. JP Mona's down injured here, and it ends up being a point for Sean Kavanagh. At that stage, it was about 8 minutes into the second half. Tyrone is so good in the counter-attack. If you give the ball away with poor foot passing, Sean Kavanagh puts Tyrone 9-4 up at that stage, and the game is effectively over. Monaghan really shot themselves in the foot in that late in the first half and early in the second half by poor quality foot passing into their forwards.
OK, we'll talk about Monaghan going forward in a minute, but who are the nominees for man of the match then?
I suppose, when you only concede 7 points, there's a very strong case for the defence, and they're all defenders as it happens. The first, Cahill McCarran had a very, very good game, totally diffused the Tommy Freeman threat today. Justin McMahon played very, very well, got good protection of Joe, as usual, the brother, but made a few good sallies forward. And in a half-back line, they'd all scored and had the entire half-forward line removed. I thought Conor Gormley was outstanding as well.
So who gets the award, Tony?
Well, we chose Justin McMahon at full-back. But as Dara said, when you're talking about Tyrone, it's kind of sad to pick any one player as a man of the match because it's about the whole team. It's about their work ethic right through the whole team. But Justin McMahon, good player at full back, works hard. As Dara was saying, he's ably assisted by all the people around him, but he's the one guy that always stands up for Tyrone, has had a fantastic season for them. And look, full back is a position, there's not many good full backs in the country. You could name them on 2 or 3 good full backs in the country, but he's certainly one of them.
All right then. Let's hear from then our man of the match, Justin McMahon.
Well, Justin McMahon, congratulations. You're the man of the match. Here to present the trophy is Fergus Devereux, the head of corporate sales at Vodafone. Fergus, if you please.
Cheers. Congratulations. Cheers.
Justin, congratulations on your award, but congratulations on your Ulster success today. A fantastic performance.
Yeah, cheers, Dara. Yeah, we just, we came into the game expecting a tough encounter against Monaghan, and I suppose they definitely showed that in the first half, and we're glad we just came through with the win there.
On to Justin. Let's go back to the audience. Ushie McConville, how good are your friends from Tyrone?
Yeah, well, I think they proved today that they haven't gone anywhere. They're probably as good now as they were in 2005 and 2008. They were exceptional today. They looked a hungrier team, believe it or not, against Monaghan. I was a little bit disappointed in Monaghan today, but today was all about Tyrone, the tenacity, the tackling, everything we associate, that's good with Tyrone football.
But I'm just wondering, and maybe this is unfair to Tyrone, is Ulster weaker now than it was 5 years ago?
Certainly is. I think we've seen yesterday in the qualifiers, with the 2 Ulster teams going out with Armagh and Derry. But don't judge Ulster football on those teams. Judge them on Tyrone, and Tyrone are still very, very strong. And as I said, I think the last time I was here, there's 3 teams can win the All Ireland, and Tyrone are one of them. And they certainly, after today, will believe strongly that they are as good as anybody in the country.
Well, Dara O'Shea, you had many a battle with Tyrone. What do you think of the chances now this year?
Yeah, they really have. They've put on a marker today, and they're going to be there thereabouts. And I suppose that the ominous sign for everybody around the country is that their big guns are moving well. Sean Kavanagh, Conor Gormley, Brian Dewar. These lads, they're in great shape, and they're hungry as well. And there's a couple of big games in them left in Croke Park as well. They'll be looking forward to getting to Croke Park as well.
So are they? Where would you rate them now in the top 3?
We shot at home for saying, but I fancy. I think Cork probably are in the probably up there at the minute. They probably got the qualifiers will probably suit them as well going forward. They'll get a couple of games under their belt. Kerry are thereabouts, depending on the draws the next night. But then again, Tyrone are there, so it hasn't changed from the start of the year. The 3 teams kind of still thereabouts. It's depending on the mix-up now, depending on what way the draws pan out, it could make for a very interesting couple of weeks.
Sure. Graham Geraghty, Meath have been semi-finalists recently. Would you put Meath in the top 4? There seems to be agreement about what the top 3 is.
Yeah, I think the whole country's agreeing what the top 3 is. I think Meath still have an awful lot to do. While they've put in good performances this year already, I think that they still need to step it up another level to be up where Kerry and Cork are at the moment. Tyrone have brought themselves back in as contenders again today. You know, their league form wouldn't have been great, but you know, we've really seen them up their game today and put themselves back in the race. While Meath's attack has been playing reasonably well, I think the defence probably is where you know our problems lie at the minute, and if we can tweak those, you know, they'll be thereabouts at the end of the year.
Colin Kelly, if I was asking you to put the 1, 2, 3 as you see it, who's 1, who's 2, who's 3?
I suppose it's hard to look past Kerry's being #1. They are All-Ireland champions, and you know they achieve on a regular basis when people don't expect them to. And today, with this year with the retirements and what have you, the expectancy isn't probably too high. So I presume, you know, the way they're going and midfield sorted, they'll probably Kerry #1, Cork 2, and probably Tyrone, and has been that way for a long while. But what has happened on a regular basis over the last couple of years is you know, so-called wicked teams have got to All-Ireland semi-finals. When you think of teams like Fermanagh and Wexford, and Meath have got to 2 All-Ireland finals. So there's a lot to play for the other teams, and when you get there, it's about achieving.
I hear what you're saying. Don't write off Louth for the semi-final. We take it on board. Fair Tuesday, all right. Well, time to check out now our remaining 2 qualifier games. It's Wexford versus Cork and Derry versus Kildare.
Kildare were boosted when Dermot Earley was deemed fit enough to take his place at centre field, though there was little he could do as his side were caught cold after a minute. Owen Bradley's free dropped short, with Wilkinson showing the predatory instincts. When Owen Bradley landed this point after 8 minutes, Derry were up by 5, with the visitors yet to get off the mark. But this Eamon Callaghan point and a string of placed balls from Johnny Doyle slowly brought the visitors back into contention. Derry were struggling to get to grips with a strong wind. Enda Muldoon, their 3rd unsuccessful free taker of the first half. No such problems for Johnny Doyle though. He put Kildare ahead for the first time in the 23rd minute. 6 unanswered points for Kildare. Derry needed to stop the rot. Declan Mullins landed their first score for almost 21 minutes before Owen Bradley and Pádraig O'Neill traded points to send Kildare in leading by 1 with a half-time score of 8 points to a goal and 4. Johnny Doyle and Mark Lynch swapped scores in the opening exchanges of the second half before James Cahill levelled the scores for the 4th and final time as the Kildare juggernaut began to move into top gear. Playing into a strong wind didn't seem to hinder the Lily Whites in any way, with a series of fine scores from play. One of Flaherty's perhaps the pick of them. While at the other end, Derry were looking toothless in the face of some expert Kildare defending. In fact, their defenders were so much to the fore that fullback Hugh McGillen was afforded the freedom of Celtic Park to head forward and fist this effort. Mark Lynch's point brought Derry back to within 4 points, their first score for 17 minutes, but that was as close as the home side would come. But any hopes of a revival were ended moments later. All too easy for Eamon Callaghan, corner forward firing into an empty net, making the score 1-15 to a goal and 7. Before Alan Smith pounced for his 5th ever championship goal, see a 2-17 to 1-9 win, the first ever victory on Derry soil for Kildare.
I'm happy with it, I have to say. Like, you know, some great displays in the full back line again. You know, half back line great too. Like, you know, you can't really sort of complain. Like, you know, Derry have quality regardless. You know, Division 1 team. Like, and it was a big step up, and the fellas stood up to it. And you know, but like, we have another week now to get ready for the next one. No matter who we get, it's going to be another tough one.
So much for the sunny southeast. High winds and the heavy rain meant the first championship meeting between these sides in over 100 years would be a day to forget. Cork played with the elements in the first half and raced into an early lead, thanks to this point from Daniel Goulding inside a minute. By the 18th minute, they were 5 up. The pick of the scores, this effort from Graham Canty, wearing 3 but playing at centre-back. It was one of the moments of a disappointing encounter. Wexford rarely threatened in the opening period. Wing-back Adrian Flynn scored their first of the game in the 19th minute. But all was not lost. A late rally which saw Eric Bradley and Kieran Ling reduce the arrears to just 4 at the break gave the home support a glimmer of hope. But the second half was a truly forgettable experience for the 6,000